Hi, my name is Kate. I'm also known as twolittlekits. Welcome to my FlossTube. Sorry about not posting last week, but I did kind of warn you all about it. But because I've had an extra week along with lots of spare time, I have lots of works in progress to share with you this FlossTube, so let's get started. So before I get stuck into talking about works in progress pieces that I have, I want to just explain why I've had lots of spare time in case this is the first time you watched my FlossTube. So 2 weeks ago today, the day of recording, which is the 2nd of February, I had weight loss surgery done. I'm healing really well from it. As I said, it's 2 weeks as of today, and I haven't needed any pain medication for the last 2 days, which is awesome. I had the bypass surgery, so it is a little bit harder to heal from just because it's a bit more invasive than the sleeve surgery, which just removes part of your stomach rather than completely rerouting how everything works for your stomach. Yeah, there's not really much to comment on it, I guess, which is a good thing. It's been unremarkable, basically. It's just been healing and sitting around and not doing much and directing my family members to go do stuff that I can't do, and yeah, so I've been watching lots of television on the couch and stitching, as well as doing work on the upcoming font that I have, which I'll talk about later. But yeah, it's crazy to not be hungry, I guess. That's like the biggest takeaway I have from it, that I knew to expect, but I didn't know how it could even be possible before the surgery happened. Yeah, very strange feeling. That's sort of the whole crux of my IRL segment for my FlossTube, because honestly that's all I've been doing for the last 2 weeks, and the week before that there was nothing really happened. So yeah, it's been a really quiet, boring 3 weeks since my last FlossTube, which is not the worst thing to have happen, I guess, especially when you're trying to heal from surgery. So let's move on to works in progress. I haven't counted how many I have, so we'll see how many there are, but there's a lot. I'll just move stuff on my desk because this is like the second time I've sat at my desk in the last 2 weeks. Third time. So the first one is the biggest one, just because it's not in a project pouch. This is Flossy Fox Shop's Stitch Along that's current, and I'm super behind. I'm still working on part 1 and 2, I guess, and part 4 just got released, or is getting released today. I haven't seen the email, so I don't know. But yeah, I've done a little bit on this. This is just, I know it's gonna look great once it's done, but because there are so many mistakes with the gridding and it's on black, it's just really hard to work with. I did decide, I don't remember if I mentioned this last FlossTube, I did decide I was going to do all the outlines of everything before filling it in. So that's why I've kind of abandoned all the little tiny bits of colour, and I did all the purple, and now I'm working on the blue, and then I think it's green down in the bottom, so I'll be working on the green after I finish the blue, and I'm just going to do it like the Animal House Stitch Along. If you watched those FlossTubes a year or so ago, I'm going to work on each section in pairs, so I'm going to finish stage 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4, and then it'll be 5 and 6. So yeah, this one's very slowly happening, very slowly. Alright, what's next? This is Black Waltz Stitching's The Stitcher Tarot, and before my surgery I managed to find a couple of missing colours for this one, and I filled in the blanks, I guess, that I'd skipped over. This one's just needing purple and some hints of yellow and some white, I believe, and then this one's gonna be done. Once I finish that one, and maybe some other works in progress, I'll start working on the gamer tarot card. Oh, here we go. The next one is an embroidery piece, which I've done so much unpicking, and I'll be changing color while I'm sitting at my desk before I go back downstairs after I record this. I'm gonna be changing some colors around, I think, for what I've got chosen, but I can't remember what I shared. I think actually I had done the yellow, and I tried doing a different thing since the last time I shared, but I unpicked it, so this is where this is at now. And there's so many little holes. You can see them well on the back, actually, maybe on the camera. And I have to put them all back in my project bags, or else I'm going to get all mixed up on which one goes with which floss. I don't know if I actually worked on this one, but I'll share it anyway because it's here. This is my car project that I brought inside before my surgery. It's not had a lot done on it, I would say, since the last time I shared, but I'm just working through the purple, basically. And this one's going to be a companion piece to a different one that I finished a couple of floss tubes ago, which was also my car project. This one I've been doing the most work on over the last 2 weeks, and you'll be able to tell why. So this is an upcoming pattern that I'm going to incorporate into a, what would you call it? A bundle, I guess, that's going to be happening much later this year. So this is, I guess, a sneak peek of it, but I'm stitching it now because I plan on gifting the finished piece of this to someone. So yeah, I'll be keeping this a secret, at least for now. I'll probably share the finished piece on my FlossTube. I ran out of 2 colors on this, actually. I had to get my husband to go to the craft store yesterday, which was funny in of itself. It was a list of, I needed 3 colors because I couldn't find one of the colors that I needed for it, and I ran out of 2 colors for it as well. So I needed 3 skeins of floss. I sent him the list, and he went there and he picked them. One of them he got 3051 instead of 3052. I'm like, no, wrong color. And so he's, walked back to the floss and got the right color. And then he comes home and he's like, what have they done to the floss? It's like, it's all out of number order. I'm like, I know, right? Because our closest craft store has all of the DMC flosses in their little like slots that that are all numbered. But a couple of months ago they adjusted their setup so that they could incorporate all of the new these ones, these flosses, which are like a wool kind of thickness. So they needed to add those to their stand. But instead of shifting them back around so they're all in number order, they've just like butchered the whole thing. Anyway, it's my little rant on that. Alright, these 2 are in a project pouch together. Why is that all like that? Oh, okay, that's why. So this is a gift for a family that's going through a really hard time right now. And I'm getting close to finishing this one. I am missing, I should have got my husband to get this color too. I am missing a brown for the dog, for like the little bits that are missing in its head. I can't find where it is because I know I've got every single color. But because I have so many projects and works in progress with floss in those project pouches, I always have to go scrounging around to find where the colors are. So anyway, I'm missing a color and I don't want to substitute for a different color because it won't match. But yeah, so that one's coming along nicely. And then this one is a piece that I'm going to be giving away to someone that I follow on the internet, when right now it's pretty boring. But it'll be really, really cool once it's done. So hopefully I'll have a bit more to share next FlossTube on that. Gently put them back together in this project pouch, she says as she shoves it in. Alright, so there's that one. And the last work in progress, so I don't know how many that was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 8. 8th work in progress is my flower field. So I haven't stitched today yet. So it's only got one for February. But it is gonna be so much shorter than I anticipated. I don't know how I got such a big... I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I measured that it would take 140 squares by like 180 squares or something like that as like the maximum if you got only big flowers. But all of January fit on one row. So yeah. And I've done my little, I'm planning on adjusting the pattern itself and adding in a couple of different things. So this little like flag will be one of them, so that indicates January is, you know, back here and all the way that way, and then February goes on that way. And I'm thinking I'll add a couple more sign shapes and designs. Yeah, so there's that. And I for anyone interested, if you don't know the pattern, I'll just assume that you don't know the pattern. Basically, you roll 2 d20s, so 2 dice with 20 sides, and one of them is the pattern that you get. So you're getting 1 out of 20 pattern designs, and it picks one for you. And then there's 20 colors, so the other dice is one of the random colors. So you take that random pattern, you take that random color, and you make the flower. And that's your flower for the day. For January, I did not roll four flowers, and for January I did not roll 5 colors, which I thought was really interesting and very cool. So we'll see what days of the year I get like my last flower that I haven't stitched and my last color that I haven't used. So I think that's cool. Yeah. And the other stats that I thought were interesting were there was 2 times where I got the same color back to back, day after day. I did not get the same flower back to back. And twice. So there was 1 flower that I got 2 times for the exact pattern and color. So I got that on the 23rd and the 31st. So I thought that was cool, and I thought that I might share that because you may not follow me on Instagram and I post all that information on there. So anyway, let's move on. I do have one finished piece which is not completely finished. I haven't hooped it yet, but it's been washed and pressed and it's in its hoop now. I just haven't finished the whole finishing process basically. But it's this Pastel garden, which was so much fun to stitch, and I think it's so pretty. I have to find a nice fabric for the back, I think, and I may end up putting on one of my little tags on the back. I'm not certain. I don't usually do one of my tags on the back for pieces that I'm going to keep, so I probably won't, but I don't know, just because it's not my pattern, I feel like it makes sense to do that. I don't know. I'm not going to give it away, but I really like this piece. Highly recommend getting it. This designer makes lots of really nice patterns, and I'll be looking on her Etsy store again to see if I can find another one that I might like to do, sort of make it a little series in a way, perhaps. I don't know. I've got lots of other things to work on right now, as you can probably tell. So the other thing that I want to talk about, and I'll probably think of something else after this, but for now it's the last thing, is my upcoming font Paige, which will be coming out, fingers crossed, today that you're watching this, because I am planning on releasing the FlossTube on Monday the 5th, and Monday the 5th is when I said I was going to release Paige, my next font. I set myself a deadline for it because it's taken me almost a year to work through this font. I can't explain why it's taken me this long. I think it's just because knowing I wanted to stubbornly release the how-to document at the same time as the font meant that it was going to be a lot of extra work to release the font, like a lot. If you end up getting the how-to document, you will understand how much work I'm putting into this document. The thing is, and yes, this is Friday the 2nd, so in 3 days I'm going to be releasing this. I am nowhere near done. And I'm like, ah! So, I am considering releasing the font on the Monday and then giving myself an extra couple of days for the how-to document. I'm just nervous about a potential blowback from people who have purchased both the font and the document, because they may want to use it straight away, but they're not confident in using it straight away, so that's why they wanted the how-to document. So yeah, I'm like, about the whole thing. I'm gonna see how I go over the weekend. Today, I'm hoping to get a heap of work done on it before my kids come home from school, which is why I'm planning on wrapping up this FlossTube kind of now-ish. So wish me luck. If you have pre-ordered, awesome, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that you've pre-ordered. Seeing how many people pre-ordered really helped spur me on to get it done. And that's kind of why I made the deadline, because if I opened pre-orders and was like, it's gonna come sometime, that didn't sit right with me. So yeah, I set the pre-order thing up shortly after I finished my surgery and had gotten home and everything. If you haven't pre-ordered, I highly recommend, well, it's a bit late if you haven't done it by now. I was gonna say you'll get a discount if you pre-order before Monday, but this will get released on Monday, so sorry? Maybe send me a message and I'll give you a sneaky discount if you've watched this far through the FlossTube. Alright, I think that is everything. I'm looking around for more stuff. I shouldn't do that. Yeah, that's everything. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your patience over the last week without having a FlossTube last Monday. And I'm gonna get back to work on this font, and if I can't sit here for much longer, more stitching. So until next time, I'll see you around the internet. Bye.